Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I am Ebony Boulware, the Dean of the Medical School, the Wake Forest University School of Medicine, and I'm so delighted to share with you my first address for the state of the school. And what I will do today is share with you our vision and our mission for the school, some of the exciting aspects of our school strategy, and some examples of how we're going about that. We'll be talking about our strategic pillars, some of the highlights and accomplishments of many of you in the school, and at the end, take questions if there's time. And there should be time. If you do have questions, please post those in the Q&A section in your Teams box. So I'll start off by saying I've been here for almost 2 years, and this has been one of the most exciting times of my entire career because I've come into a fantastic environment here at the Wake Forest University School of Medicine. And a big part of why I'm so excited to be here is our vision. And it's our vision as we grow and expand as a school to be the most impactful academic learning health system in the nation, fueled by our academic mission, our discovery, our education, and our innovation. And that's for our broader academic learning health system. And as a school specifically, we're seeking to fuel the success of our academic learning health system through our major scientific breakthroughs by training the most talented and insightful workforce of the future, and through our cutting edge expertise and innovation. Our core mission as we are transforming as a school right now is to scale our excellence. As you know, we've joined a very large health system, Advocate Health, which is the third or fourth largest not-for-profit health system in the nation, a multi-state health system which really provides us with an opportunity to think about how do we as a medical school integrate with this health system, scaling our excellence so that our impact is even greater than it is now. So as we're doing that, we're thinking about how we propel our academic learning health system, how we build and sustain our communities internally as well as externally, and how we foster a culture of justice, belonging, and character, which is so near and dear to our hearts. Here are some of the key strategic pillars that we're working on right now. And some of you may have seen this. I've shown this before at faculty meetings, but this is the first time to show it to everyone. And we're really focused on kind of 4 key pillars, 4 key areas that we want to kind of go in on as we're in this transformative time of our school. First, focusing on our school and how we continue our excellence as a school. Secondly, thinking about our system and how our school plays a role in advancing the missions of Advocate Health care system at large, our communities, how we're having an impact in our local communities external to our school, our regional and national and international communities, as well as internally, how we take care of our community, and then our culture, how we foster a wonderful culture where we can all thrive. I'll say that some key areas within each of these pillars are, first, as a school, being best in the nation in discovery, education, and innovation. And I'm going to show you so many examples of how we're there and we continue to build in that area. Our faculty and learners thriving everywhere is also another focus, and I'll show you some examples of that as we're moving forward. As we're expanding, as you know, we have a 1 school, 2 campus opportunity. We are developing a 2nd campus in Charlotte, and that's going along quite nicely. And as we're doing that, we're cultivating a 1 school mentality. 1 school with 2 campuses, all part of 1 family. For our system, how do we as a school really amplify all of the great work that we're doing by partnering and integrating further with Advocate Health? Things like developing clinical trials and supporting clinical trials and other research in every corner of Advocate. Building out translational centers of excellence that take advantage of our science and discovery and innovation, all the way from cells to communities in key clinical areas. Making sure we have the best educated teams throughout our enterprise. In terms of our communities, thinking about how we extend our local, national, and global impact. how we create meaningful partnerships and pathways into our outstanding programs by working with our partners within our local, regional, and national communities, and then how we build and sustain our success as a school long term. In our culture, we all find it important to have a culture of justice, belonging, and character. And so we want to cultivate that and continue that. Also ensuring that we have the best place to care, discover, teach, and learn. So this is just about how we operate and how we make sure that we can all thrive in our environment. And then developing that we team culture. It's so important as we've come together, multiple organizations across multiple regions and now multiple states, to develop that we team culture. So that's a really important aspect of what we're working on right now in the school. So I'm going to go through each of those strategic pillars and show you some examples, some information you may or may not already know about our school, and some examples of highlights in each of these areas as we're thinking about moving forward. So first, in terms of our school, our education and training programs. And we offer education and training across the spectrum. I'm going to be focusing on our undergraduate and graduate programs that the school supports. As you know, we have our MD program, and we have 579 MD students. We have 418 biomedical graduate program students with both masters, pursuing both master's and PhD degrees, 169 students in our PA program, and 98 students in our advanced nursing degree program. So a number of different students across our campus with training across the spectrum. And that's not to leave out our impact on our postgraduates trainees, including our residents, as well as our postdoctoral trainees. I'm going to focus in on our MD program. And our focus for the MD program is leading our vision to be national leaders in medical education and innovation, graduating purpose and equity-driven physicians committed to improving the health of individuals and communities through lifelong learning. Our program has a long history and has been very successful. Just to fast forward us to this past year, we're so proud of our class of 2028 and the other classes that have recently entered. It's very competitive to get into Wake Forest University School of Medicine for the MD program. In the class of 2028, there were over 12,000 applicants for the 145 matriculates to the school. Our students come from all over the nation. 30% come from North Carolina. We have a number of first generation and diverse applicants. And so we have a really diverse class of students, and we're very proud of that. They always are excellent and go on to do great things. I was so delighted to be at the white coat ceremony to welcome the class of 2028 just a couple of months ago. You could just feel the excitement. The faculty so excited and thrilled to welcome the students being so excited for their futures ahead. And so it's just such a proud moment to have as a school. I'm also really delighted to re-announce once again that under the leadership of Dr. Roy Stroud, who's the Vice Dean for Undergraduate Medical Education, that we had our recent LCME accreditation visit and internal work to do the reaccreditation and by the team, which was really amazing over a 2-year time period, which included self-studies, all types of metrics evaluation, multiple leaders being involved, multiple faculty and students involved in the process. And our decision, which just came in a couple of months ago, was that we would be fully accredited over an 8-year term. And this is the first time in a couple of decades that our school has had full 8-year accreditation from the accrediting body. So we're really thrilled to be at such have such accomplishment at such an important time period and transformational time period in our school's history. Our students, our MD students, go all over the country once they complete their training. And you can see here at Match Day 2024 was really exciting, where we had students just if you look at the pictures to the left, it's just a really incredible moment where everybody rushes up to grab their envelopes. And you can see that they matched in specialties all across medicine and went all over the country. 36 of our students stayed in North Carolina, and 27 of them actually stayed in Atrium Health in our system. And so we're so proud of that, of all of our students. As you know, we have a second campus coming, and it's coming soon. We're going to be opening up our second campus building in early 2025, and the first medical students will be joining in July of 2025 in Charlotte. And you can see here, we did a site visit in February 2024, and there were lots of cranes. We still have lots of cranes, but now in April of 2024, we have windows and glass up, and the building is really coming along quite beautifully, located right in the Pearl District, Innovation District in Charlotte. So we're so excited about this expansion. As we get started with the new medical student group showing up in Charlotte, this first class will be bringing in a class of around 48 students. That'll include third year and fourth year students. We'll be ramping up those first years to a class of 96 by 2031. So we'll be gradually stepping up our student presence in Charlotte. And they'll be engaged not only in classroom learning in the new building, but also receiving their clinical training at multiple sites throughout the Charlotte area. And we've had students going to those sites already for the past couple of years, and they've been having a fantastic experience. We're so grateful to all of our faculty and other teammates who've been involved in teaching the students, and we look forward to that growth as we move forward. Part of that growing of the Charlotte campus is to have foundational science faculty come in. And so we've been fortunate to recruit an all-star team of faculty who will be focusing in on those first 2 years of foundational science teaching. And here are some of those faculty. You can see their faces and their names. Strong work being done by Doctors Ingiamo, Dr. Birch, and Dr. Liu have really been working hard to pull together on a fantastic learning curriculum, which is a problem-based curriculum in Charlotte. And we're ready to move forward. Things are really getting off the ground. So we're right on time as we open up the new campus. This is just another side note I wanted to bring up. Some people have been asking a lot of me is what are we doing with regard to how are we maintaining that focus on purpose-driven and equity-minded students, and how do we maintain the diversity of our student classes? We know that's so important as we want to train clinicians who reflect the communities that we serve. And we're really focusing on innovation in our admissions processes, including using things like AI on our admissions. And so we have a project called Splash, where we're even looking at the essays that students give to us, and using AI as an initial screening tool to help understand what it is that we're finding, how our students are describing themselves, their interests, so we can make sure we still have those purpose-driven, equity-minded students who are going to reflect the communities that we serve. We also have our advanced nursing programs with that, which I mentioned, and I was very delighted to be at the graduation of the doctoral nursing students. I think it was 2 weeks ago, and we have two programs. First is our doctoral nurse anesthesia program, and this year is the first year that we just graduated the first year of graduates who are doctoral nurses. In the class of 2024 was that first cohort. 21 graduates. They've practiced at 36 sites nationwide, seen a number of patients, and put in over 40,000 hours of clinical hours. That program has also brought in philanthropy support to support a number of innovative new training programs. We also have a postmaster's doctoral nursing program, which is a 2-year program focusing on leadership. Our first class matriculated in 2018. Our first cohort graduated in 2020, and this program is really on fire. This year we had 14 graduates who did incredible scholarly projects, many of which were highlighted nationally, and had peer-reviewed publications. Now, our biomedical graduate programs are also substantial, where we have 240 students, which include 210 master students, and over 400 students, 240 doctoral students, 210 master's students. We have 8 doctoral programs and 11 master's programs. So this is a really thriving program. It's quite large. Our students come from over 35 states and 28 countries. And you can see on the right that we have a number of different types of programs, master's and PhD programs, ranging from addiction research and clinical health all the way to translational biotechnology, offering master's and PhDs in many of these areas. Also quite a diverse class. Some of the highlights from the biomedical graduate programs include new programs in the translational biotechnology, a new master's program in clinical research management, master's and PhD programs in medical physics. There's been a tremendous amount of funding success and support of training, with 12% of our students obtaining F-Series awards to support their career development, over $4 million in T32 training grants for the programs, and 7 grants providing over the summer experiences for undergraduates, many of them diverse, in the amount of about $1.3 million. So our faculty and teammates and students doing a great job in bringing in resources for continuing the learning. We also have a number of professional development teaching opportunities and mentoring programs offered to over 194 postdoctoral colleagues through the Office of Education. So we have a very robust program in these areas, and it's really exciting to see the growth. Our physician assistance program is also equally as successful. The PA Studies program attracts highly motivated and superbly skilled PA students from around the United States. It's a 2-year program where students receive a Master's of Medical Sciences degree. We had 82 new students this year. They came from a rolling pool of 1,400 applicants, and it's quite diverse, with 29% of our class underrepresented in medicine. They do an inquiry-based learning process, and the mission is really to produce the most highly capable PAs who deliver patient-centered care, make significant contributions to the healthcare community, and continually advance the PA profession. One highlight I was really delighted to be a part of for our PA Studies program is our partnership with Winston-Salem State University. This is a program where we're directly partnering with Winston-Salem State students who express interest in a PA career, who partner with our students here at the school and receive mentoring. And through this program, students who meet the PA program's admissions requirements and have been formally recommended by Winston-Salem State actually are enrolled in our program. So this is an example of how we are providing state-of-the-art education and also reaching into our community to build capacity in our community. Very excited about this program, and looking forward to cultivating it even further. We also have a new Doctor of Medical Sciences degree in the PA Studies. This is a new online doctoral degree program, and we welcomed our inaugural class in May 6th. It's designed by and for PAs who are already in the workforce. We've currently got 8 students. It's a 24-month curriculum, and there are 3 tracks in research, education, and leadership. We have a multidisciplinary faculty, and the students all do a capstone project. The mission of this program is to elevate the PA profession by equipping PA leaders to shape the future of healthcare. So we have a number of these types of programs where we're training leaders of the future through our Wake Forest University School of Medicine in multiple disciplines. I'm now going to transition a bit to our faculty. We have incredible faculty, and I just wanted to share with you a bit about what's happening with our faculty. So first, now that we have 2 campuses, we have over 3,000 faculty total in the School of Medicine. 2,200 of those plus are in Winston-Salem, over 1,000 are in Charlotte. We have multiple different ranks, as you can see across the top, and we also have faculty with adjunct and emeritus titles. 408 of the faculty are in the basic science. Most of those are in Winston-Salem. Some are in Charlotte. And Nearly 2,900 are clinical faculty, still a few more in Winston-Salem, and we have a growing number in Charlotte. So a very large faculty, very vibrant, and so excited to have this community across 2 campuses. We recently have been increasing the number of faculty who are involved in Charlotte. This is just a part of our transitions and our growth. It's super exciting, particularly as we have students entering the new campus. Not only have we developed a number of new appointments, we've had a number of new promotions during the last year or so. 52 academic faculty pathway promotions happening recently, and 59 in the clinical faculty pathway, 28 of those being in the Charlotte campus, and 8 faculty members awarded tenure. So congratulations to all of those with new appointments. Congratulations on your promotions, and thank you for all you're doing, and congratulations to those who were awarded tenure. We're also doing a number of processes to modernize our AP&T, our appointments, promotion, and tenure processes. Several things you may or may not be aware of. We have a new faculty handbook, and that reflects all of our policies and practices with regard to what it means to be a faculty member at Wake Forest. And we're very happy to provide that link. It's an online faculty handbook, and it's continually updated. We have a new process that allows us to offer faculty appointments throughout all of Advocate. It's a memorandum of understanding that says if you're within our Advocate family, you can have, and you qualify for a faculty appointment, you can let us know, and we will put you through the process to obtain a faculty appointment, no matter where you're located throughout Advocate. A way of opening and kind of bringing folks into our umbrella who want to be a part of our outstanding academic mission. We're also in the process of modernizing and updating and refining all of our processes around the appointments, promotion, and tenure process under the leadership of Dr. Greg Hawkins. We have processes to make the promotions process more continuous and more timely. Also, we had a task force led by Dr. Philip Heine and Todd Habercrost and a number of faculty members who came together from across the school to provide recommendations on streamlining our entire faculty appointments processes, not only just the processes, but also all of the actual tracks. So we're going to be streamlining our AP&T tracks to fewer number of tracks, a fewer number of titles, so it becomes more simple and more straightforward. So more to come on that. You should be hearing about that this fall. I'm going to turn just to highlight, and I'm sure I didn't get everybody's, so apologies for those of you who I've left off because we have so many outstanding faculty. But I wanted to point out just the types of achievements that we're really lifting up internally as well as externally among our faculty. Faculty Mentoring Awards, Faculty Education Awards, Faculty Leadership Awards in Clinical Excellence, Research Achievements, and Career Achievements. These are some of the select internal awards that were provided this last year. You can see the awardees. I'm so grateful and proud of all of these faculty members who got these awards. And so thanks for all that you're doing to help our environment and our school be as good as it possibly can be in all of our missions. Our faculty are all the time being raised up and elevated around the country. And so these are just some select faculty achievements that are external to the school. Particularly 2 that I'm aware of had lifetime achievements, Dr. Goldie Bird and Dr. Don Penzian, who had lifetime achievement awards in their respective fields. Truly amazing. And then so many other amazing national recognitions of faculty across our school. Another set here. So just so many, I can't stick them all on, but would be pages and pages. But I also want to let you know that we want to know about these. Part of my job as a dean and part of our job as a school is to let everybody know about your fantastic achievements. So congratulations to all. Thank you to all for all that you're doing. Some other faculty developments. We have new faculty affairs, Office of Faculty Affairs leaders. So we recently Dr. Darcy Reed has joined us as the leader of the Office of Faculty Affairs. She's the new Vice Dean for Faculty Affairs. She's coming to us from Mayo Clinic. We have Dr. Julie Silver, who also just recently came in to us from Harvard. She's the Senior Associate Dean of Faculty Experience and Success. Dr. Gregory Hawkins, who's been here for quite some time and is just the perfect person, who just started his recently new appointment as the Senior Associate Dean for Appointments, Promotion, and Tenure. And he's been doing a fantastic job ferreting us through this transition and modernizing all of our processes and appointments. And Dr. Suzanne Danauer, who's also been here and has taken on the new role of Senior Associate Dean of Faculty Wellbeing. So you'll be hearing a lot from these leaders moving forward. The group is just coming together, just gelling, and we're so delighted that everybody has joined on the leadership team. I also want to point out that we're going through a number of chair searches, and we have some newly appointed chairs. I'm going to just point out, Dr. Madhav Swaminathan just joined as the chair of a Department of Anesthesiology. He just came to us from Duke. We have Dr. Steve Kreidel, who's been an incredible leader for us in cancer biology over the years, and now he has been permanently appointed as the department chair for cancer biology. Dr. Lindsay Stroud, who's also been here as an incredible leader in dermatology. She just has been appointed as the permanent chair in dermatology. And Dr. Fabian Johnston, who comes to us for the new department chair in surgery, coming to us from Johns Hopkins. So excited about these newly appointed chairs. And we have other newly appointed chairs that'll be coming into our environment. We have searches that are kind of reaching their final stages. A search for a new department chair in the Department of Urology, a search for a new chair in the departments of pathology. Those searches have been ongoing and are nearing their final stages. Also, a new department in cardiovascular medicine, and other new department coming in cancer medicine, and that search is ongoing. In addition to that ongoing search, we have new searches in physical medicine and rehabilitation in Charlotte, family medicine in Charlotte, neurology in Charlotte, radiation oncology in Winston-Salem, neurosurgery in Winston-Salem, and biostatistics and data science in Winston-Salem. So really vibrant time, doing a lot of chair searches. So as we're transforming, such an exciting time to continue to identify and work with outstanding chair leaders. Okay, I'm going to pivot a little bit and talk to you about the research going on in our school. So first, if you didn't know, this is one of the best places to do research in the country. We truly have cutting edge research in Wake Forest University School of Medicine across all of our campuses and all of our locations. And our work goes from cells, that foundational basic science work, that molecular work, I should say molecules to cells, to all the way to society. We have research that really impacts across the entire spectrum. So that full translational spectrum of science we have. And to support that, we support 21 collaborative research centers with 8 primary areas of focus I'll talk about a little bit when we talk about our research plan for excellence, and 3 large translational centers of excellence. So much work happening across the campus. It's truly exciting. One of the things to know is that at our school, we have some of the major NIH centers of excellence. These are some examples. One of the oldest comprehensive cancer centers in the country. And I'll talk a little bit more about the Cancer Center in a few moments. Also, one of the oldest Pepper centers, one of the oldest Claude D. Pepper American Independence Centers that focuses on aging. We have a National Alzheimer's Disease Research Center. We have a Clinical and Translational Science Award and a North Carolina Diabetes Research Center, among others. These are examples. You may not know this, but our research funding has been exploding, particularly over the past 5 years. We have almost a doubling in our research funding, and that's because due to a real investment and focus on how to grow research excellence at Wake Forest University School of Medicine. In 2023, we hit a high of $436 million in total extramural research funding. And these are some of the sources of that extramural research funding. The Department of Defense, industry, NIH, nonprofit and state funding, and other federal funding. And you can see if you look at 2023, which is that column, that third column, a good portion of our funding comes from NIH and other nonprofit and state sources or other federal sources. We had a slight dip in the industry funding, and we anticipate that'll be going up because of our focus on a renewed focus on clinical trials, which I'll talk about in a few moments. But so exciting to be at a time where our research funding is literally exploding. Some of the incredible programs that we have here include our Wake Forest Institute for Regenerative Medicine, led by Dr. Tony Atala, where we are truly global leaders in translating scientific discoveries into clinical therapies through regenerative medicine, including things like implanting regenerative cells in kidneys, developing new organs or organoids, and things like repairing organs such as the ureter. It's just truly amazing work. And if you have not been to the Wake Forest Institute for Regenerative Medicine or looked at their website, I encourage you to check it out because it's a truly unbelievable program under Dr. Atala's leadership. Under Dr. Atala's leadership, they've attained over 92 million in funding over multiple years, but recently a lot of funding in the last 2 or 3 years. And that includes awards from the National Science Foundation, over 2 million, to deal with the pandemic, ongoing work with the U.S. Department of Defense, and including recent awards, 56 million awards, doing things like looking at how body on a chip platform, as well as AI, determines how viruses infect and spread, and some recent awards from NASA in space manufacturing tissue engineered liver. And so I know that the team was awarded two NASA awards for doing this groundbreaking work. Recently, we just celebrated the 50 years of National Cancer Institute designation for our cancer center. As I said, we have one of the oldest cancer centers in the country, dating back to the early 1900s. So truly, we are vanguards in cancer treatments and cancer discovery. And on August 16th, 2024, Dr. Ruben Mesa led an outstanding 50-year of NCI designation celebration. I was so honored to be there. One of the deputy directors from the National Cancer Institute, Dr. Warren Kibbe, came to talk to us and was so impressed with all that we're doing. And it's such an incredible milestone for us to reach this 50-year milestone, all the impact that's been happening, as our cancer center also adopts the one school, two campus model by bringing together our groups in Winston-Salem and Charlotte and beyond as we continue to grow and transform. Here's some things that have happened recently over the past year that were just some great highlights. Unfortunately, we lost our beloved Dr. Williams Blackstock last year, but there was just a wonderful tribute and celebration in his honor in May to elevate his legacy and passion for health equity. And that really energized us to move forward with his mission and vision. And in February, we also had Dr. Jill Biden come to Charlotte to visit our program, as well as the NCI director, Dr. Kim Rathmel, to come and hear about wonderful programs that are going on across our cancer center, including programs in navigation and in financial toxicity in Charlotte. We have a new set of renewed leadership in the center. And so we're so excited about the new directions that Dr. Ruben Mesa is taking us with the Cancer Center. We also just recently received a $28 million award from NIH for our CTSA program, our Clinical and Translational Science Award, which supports the Clinical and Translational Science Institute. This is under the leadership of the leaders on the right. And I want to put a special shout out to Dr. Don McLean, who has led our program for a couple of decades and has been a stalwart leader nationally for the CTSA program. We were fortunate to have him come and really build our program such that we were able to get an outstanding score on our most recent application. And this new award, which is on for the next 7 years, will focus on how we support Advocate Health's evolution as an academic learning health system in its research mission, its workforce development missions, and its community engagement missions. So exciting that we have this, and grateful to all for the participation. Lots of great things to come as we move forward with our new Clinical and Translational Science Award. Okay, so I'm going to transition a little bit to other types of growth. We have a number of new departments and centers that are growing as we move forward. One new department that was formed over the last year or so was the new Department of Translational Neurosciences, which was bringing together two former departments into a strong powerhouse, focusing on driving cutting-edge preclinical research in the neurosciences disciplines. Right now, that department is one of the top-ranked departments in the country with over $20 million in annual extramural funding, 128 staff, 38 faculty members, and 82 trainees, really a vibrant group. And so excited as we begin to focus more and kind of delve in on neurosciences to have this department as the anchor for our discovery in that area. We also have a new Center for Artificial Intelligence Research led by Dr. Metin Gurkin. This center just came together over the last year and is really exploding at a very rapid rate. The goal being to better health across our schools, local and national communities by advancing the science and application of AI through research, education, and innovation. So there's a number of programs ongoing in research, cutting-edge AI research, developing new methods, educating a number of comprehensive educational programs, summer programs, workshops, seminars, and formal training activities, and then innovations, creating AI-driven innovations that can have a tangible impact on healthcare delivery and translating research findings into practical applications. We're so excited for Dr. Gurkin's leadership in this critically important area as all of healthcare is transforming with AI. We also have really exciting new Translational Eye and Vision Research Center, and this is coming just at the time when we're also developing a new vision center in the clinical in Winston-Salem. This new center, Translational Eye and Vision Research Center, is designed to help us develop a center of excellence that takes our research and really pairs it with our clinical excellence in the areas of eye and vision care. The group is focusing, led by Doctors Rebecca Sappington and Jay Ma, are already on fire with a number of grants going on, and they're focused on four areas, including building research infrastructure to enhance eye disease and visual impairment research, just creating a discovery ecosystem, pulling together new members from multiple different departments across our school, focusing on making the translational discoveries going from cells to communities similar to other programs, and then creating some innovative partnerships with organizations locally, regionally, and nationally. We also have a new Center for Remote Health Monitoring led by Dr. Ryan McGinnis, who just recently joined our Wake Forest University School of Medicine faculty as part of our research plan for excellence. And the new center focuses on advancing the science of remote monitoring to enhance our understanding of human health in the real world and improving patient outcomes. And there's so much work that's happening in that arena, including looking at wearables and how to look at clinical trial endpoints, and addressing using wearables in clinical areas to advance our ability to treat patients, including young children. So that's just snapshots of what's happening in terms of growth of our programs. I want to talk to you a little bit about our research plan for excellence. And you may be aware that when the Atrium Health merged with the Wake Forest University School of Medicine, there was an investment of about $70 million to enhance research. And this was focused on recruitment of faculty, focused on key areas, including aging and mobility, Alzheimer's disease, diabetes and obesity, cancer, neurosciences, heart and cardiovascular work, and regenerative medicine, with a focus on lifespan as well as health equity. And so there were a certain amount of almost $50 million invested in these areas, the focus recruitment. And then also there was a competitive opportunity fund where groups put in ideas for areas to recruit as well. And so there were funds invested in microbial ecology, emerging diseases, child health outcomes, the remote patient and participant monitoring, which we're so excited for Dr. McGinnis's leadership, and vision, which is already out of the box, transformative stroke care, sleep which we're working on in recruitment right now, and translational radiation and cancer care. So we have been doing a lot of recruiting with this investment, and we've been very successful. So far, since I've been here, which is when we began the recruitment, and I should say teams worked on this recruitment strategy before I came. So I was just delighted to come in and help us continue the effort. But since I've been here, when we've started the recruits, we've actually recruited 40 faculty. Those 40 faculty are spread among Winston-Salem and Charlotte. They are faculty members in 14 departments and sections, and they're distributed with regard to their seniority. So we've been very excited to get these faculty. And here are some of the department affiliations that they've been engaged with. Social sciences and health policy and implementation science have gotten a number of faculty recruits. Molecular medicine, pediatrics, gerontology and geriatric medicine, biomedical engineering, epidemiology and prevention, and then faculty in pathology and comparative medicine, neurology, biostatistics and data science, pulmonary critical care, allergy, hospital medicine, cardiovascular medicine, and cancer biology. So we're getting a spread of faculty across a number of different departments, both clinical and basic science. So it's really exciting as we move forward and exercise on these investments. And I won't have time to introduce all of these faces. Hopefully many of them are familiar to you. But here are some of the new faculty coming that we've recruited in from outside in areas in social sciences and health policy, gerontology and geriatric medicine, cancer biology, implementation science and pediatrics, hospital medicine, biomedical engineering, molecular medicine, and looking for cardiovascular medicine, just so many. So we're just really excited, and we still have more to go. We've got ongoing searches continuing. So, and we've spent, I think, about 40% of the resources. So we still have more to go. We will be expanding our research faculty and our research footprint. Really exciting time for us. Welcome to all the new faculty. I also just recently announced 6 new Dean's Research Scholars. These are research scholars who've been doing a tremendous amount of outstanding research within our school, and they now are being identified as folks who are rising stars within our research community. They will be this is the first inaugural group: Dr. Tina Brinkley, Dr. Timothy Hughes, Dr. Christina Lewis, Dr. Tao Ma, Dr. Mariana Murea, and Dr. Kiran Salingapuram. These faculty members now will have their research highlighted throughout the year. They'll be meeting with leaders across the institution, and they'll be our inaugural cohort as we cultivate continued excellence in our research community. Congratulations to these doctors. All right. So I've been talking a lot about our school in terms of our research, education, and our faculty. I want to turn a little bit to how we as a school are engaging with our system. And right now, we're very much focused on how do we infuse a lot of our School of Medicine resources and infrastructure and capabilities into advocates so that we can really meet the vision for that academic learning health system. One of the first things, so just to know a little bit about Advocate, if you don't know about it, Wake Forest University School of Medicine and Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist together are really the hub of the academic, and now Charlotte, the hub. So all of it, I should say all of it, is really the hub of the academic core for Advocate Health. So these are our areas where we have the most academic engagement, the most faculty, the most research programs, and we are really that core of Advocate Health in terms of academics. Advocate Health is quite large, with serving nearly 6 million patients in 6 states represented, with over 67 hospitals. And so we are truly at a very transformational time in our school where we have an opportunity to have an impact that goes well beyond our former footprints. one of the things that we've done initially is to create a foundational platform where we can conduct our research across all of Advocate. And one of our first accomplishments has been to develop a single national institutional review board for all of our clinical research. This helps us facilitate collaboration across the enterprise and do multi-site studies, including multi-site clinical trials, increasing our compliance and regulatory management capabilities across the organization, attracting more funders because of our scale, and also maintaining our IRB efficiencies. We've learned a lot about being efficient as an IRB at Wake Forest University School of Medicine and really applied those and scaled those so that we can do work across Advocate Health. Leveraging that in that national IRB is now we're developing a national vision for clinical trials, and that includes supporting what's being envisioned as a national center for clinical trials in Advocate Health, where we plan to do clinical trials throughout every corner of Advocate. And this work will be powered by some centers of excellence in the Wake Forest University School of Medicine, centers of excellence focused on areas like real-world data, data coordination, data capture, data analysis, and even the application of artificial intelligence and other advanced technologies to the conduct of clinical trials. You may or may not be aware that Advocate Health has now established 3 national service lines, a national service line in cancer, a national service line in the neurosciences, and a national service line in heart and vascular. And so that means that our entire enterprise is really focused on streamlining and providing patient-centered care to pull together multiple disciplines in these key areas that are so important to patients and their outcomes. And so we've been thinking, how do we pull all of our excellence as a school to even enhance those national service lines? And we are developing currently 3 translational centers of excellence, of which our cancer center is the model, where we're really pulling together, as our comprehensive cancer center does, all of our research, molecular research, cellular research, clinical trials, as part of care and then our population work and our community engagement work, and tying that all together under a single umbrella along with our clinical service line. So that example, our exemplar is the cancer center work that's led by Dr. Ruben Mesa. And now we're in the process also of developing those same concepts for neurosciences and heart and vascular. And this is the idea of pulling together, developing some discovery and innovation centers. So as part of our investments in research, we have some Wake Forest University School of Medicine discovery and innovation centers planned in both neurosciences and the heart and vascular. We'll be linking that to clinical trials and the clinical trials platform that I just mentioned, and pulling those together with the service line so that we have what we're terming translational centers of excellence, where we're truly spanning the gap from that early phases of discovery to clinical trials to community engagement to our patients' care. Currently, we have 2 of these that are established. I mentioned Dr. Messon, the Cancer Center. We also have a new Neurosciences Translational Center of Excellence under the leadership of Dr. Tony Asher, who's been based in Charlotte, neurosurgery. And we're in the process right now of also cultivating a similar center of excellence in heart and vascular. So this is an example how we as a school are really contributing to that national mission to advance health, hope, and healing, and really provide cutting-edge care to patients across all of Advocate through our excellence. I also want to highlight a couple of other centers that are focused on us translating best practices into clinical care, including, so I don't mention our Clinical and Translational Science Award, which is focused on that. I did mention that part of it is really getting our discoveries from improving the academic learning health system. There are 2 centers that we specifically have here who are really also focused in on how do we get tools and discovery into clinical care. One is the Center for Healthcare Innovation, led by Drs. Jeff Williamson and Eric Kirkendall. The mission is to enhance patient outcomes, clinical practice efficiency, and the healthcare workforce experience through the development, testing, and implementation of new novel strategies and tools and redefining when, where, and how care is delivered. It's really incredible work that's going on in the center, and some of the work that's being done are becoming national models for care. For example, the Mind Care 360, which has identified people who need specific care, cognitive care, utilizing and developing some personalized brain healthcare pathway referrals, and some work with Medicare actually to develop new programs that are nationally being adopted. We also have a Center for Health System Sciences called Chassis, led by Dr. Nicholas Bajewski and Yeniko Taylor. Their goal is to support the academic learning health system by bridging research and operations silos and serving as a hub for researchers conducting health system-focused research studies and pragmatic trials, for example, studies with the Patient-Centered Outcome Research Institute. And they're doing some really innovative work as well, focused on things like decreasing the administrative workload for clinicians in clinical spaces. So two hot off the presses publications that group has been involved with include decreasing the administrative load through AI facilitated clinical documentation. Really groundbreaking work that's leading the nation with regard to how do we deal with improving the patient-physician interaction, decreasing physician burnout, and the like. Okay, I'm now going to transfer a bit to building capacity in our communities, both externally as well as internally. And just to say that we think of ourselves as one family of communities, we obviously have multiple different communities that we now can impact in Winston-Salem and Charlotte, and even remotely out beyond the physical campuses that we currently have. So we have just so many incredible activities that are happening throughout our school, and I can't adequately capture it all, but I'm going to give some quick snapshots of some student-run work that's happening, our faculty engaged with the community, and even partnerships with our local schools. So last year, I had the opportunity to attend something called SciFest, which is designed to spark science curiosity in young students in the Winston-Salem region. And this was faculty and leaders from our basic science departments who came together to host fifth grade students and spark their excitement in science and medicine, introducing them to the world of science and research, having them meet the actual scientists and graduate trainees, sharing anecdotes, promoting science as an inclusive career, and getting students excited. And over 110 students, fifth grade students, participated in the last one. I know the group is developing another one. It was so inspiring to see this in action and to see the work that we're doing in the community to cultivate careers in science and medicine. Another great program that's been going on for many years is the DEAC Clinic, the Delivering Access to Equal Care Clinic, a student-run clinic that's committed to providing essential healthcare services to underserved communities in Winston-Salem and beyond. And so this is really a work that is providing people who otherwise might not have care under the Wake Forest University School of Medicine mission. In 2023, we had 258 medical students who volunteered 475 times. They saw 143 patients, did 44 patient referrals, made prescriptions, and really provided needed care. It's such an incredible mission. The students have a gala every year, and so I encourage you to contribute to this incredible mission. The students truly have an impact on the community through the DEAC Clinic. Another great program is Coach McLung's program, which is for which the Atrium Health Department of Family Medicine, the School of Medicine, Department of Family Medicine, was awarded nearly $3.5 million in 2021 from the NIH to help combat asthma in children. And in this program, there's a web-based asthma platform in which patients and caregivers get a better understanding of what asthma is and how it's treated, compiles information about patients' goals, and provides information and resources and tablets and computers to help them take control of their asthma. In Charlotte, there's also a fantastic program run by Dr. Iris Chang called the Patch Program, Propelling Adolescents Towards Careers in Healthcare. And in this program, there's a specific program for high school students, developing a high school pathway for underrepresented in medicine students. The 10th season completed in May, graduating 44 Patch scholars. They do interactive clinical workshops, sharing my journeys presentations where physicians from various specialties, mental health professions, nurses, pharmacists, and dentists share their personal professional journeys to get students excited and inspired, community health research programs, and mentoring and clinical shadowing. So very impactful program there. We also have a tremendous amount of community engaged research happening. Here's some work that's led by Dr. Nadine Barrett. Equitable breakthroughs in medicine development, a new model of collaboration across research sites with community partners and sponsors to achieve equity in clinical trials participation. And the aims here to be conducting readiness assessments to identify opportunities to enhance access to clinical trials, developing, testing, and scaling models of community engagement to enhance partnerships in research and access to clinical trials, and harnessing technology and community partners to further equitably improve the equitable access to diverse clinical trials. And you can see how under her leadership, we're participating with a number of different organizations across our region and nationally. We also are engaged in the Southeastern American Indian Cancer Health Equity Partnership, which is a unique collaboration between National Cancer Institute designated cancer centers to address cancer-related health needs of American Indians through community engagement and research. And so this work has involves 5 funded grants, a number of scholarly publications, and community outreach. So very excited about that work as well. Okay, I'm going to turn a little bit to our sustainability and our internal communities and how do we maintain that. Part of what we do is spend a lot of money, a lot of effort to raise money for our science and our education missions and our innovation missions. And this is work under Lisa Marshall in the Department of and the philanthropy group that's been done over the past year, focused on advancing the Wake Forest University School of Medicine research mission, a program called the Envision campaign. This is actually the first fundraising campaign that's been focused on science, I think, ever at the school, as far as Lisa tells me. And this has been designed with health equity at the forefront to gain more resources for us to do research in our core missions. So far, the group has raised $96 million in resources. Most of that are directed resources coming from foundations, so funding faculty research that's ongoing. So this would probably be counted in our extramural funding group, but very excited and thankful for the work of that group to help support our science mission, and more to come, because we plan on extending this to see if we can expand the amount of unrestricted funding that we have so we can fund additional types of research and other programs. Scholarships is a major focus of our program, as we want to make sure that our doors are open to diverse people of diverse backgrounds and diverse means. And so we focus a lot on cultivating scholarships. And so far, we have 318 scholarships among all of our degree programs. Most of those are in the MD program, but if you look at the left-hand side, they're spread across our programs. And over the past year, we had 20 additional new scholarships. And so this is a major focus where we're trying to enhance our scholarship presence so that we can ensure as many students can have access to our Wake Forest University School of Medicine education programs as possible. I'm going to shift over to our cultivating our culture of justice, belonging, and character. And I want to make you aware that we have a new office. It sort of rebranded itself to an Office of Justice and Belonging, which focuses on cultivating our strengths at the intersection of diversity, equity, and inclusion. So the mission of this office is to foster inclusive academic culture that embodies diversity with an equity-focused strategy aligned for all people, processes, and practices. And the vision is that together we'll center the voices and experiences of all people to cultivate both justice and belonging. I do want to take some time just to define the justice. They define this as the full equal participation of all groups in a mutually shaped environment to meet the collective need in a fair manner. And belonging is to have the experience and of acceptance, support, connection, value, and respect for each member within our community. And so that's where our Office of Justice and Belonging lies, is at the intersection of these concepts of inclusion, equity, and diversity. Our new office has a number of new leaders, including Dr. Brenda Latham-Sadler, who is our Vice Dean for Justice and Belonging. Also, our leaders, Dr. Emily McNeil in Charlotte and Dr. Kimberly Montez, who are in Winston-Salem, who are Associate Deans for Justice and Belonging, and led also by Dr. Rashonda Flint, who leads the program administration. This group has been doing a lot of work, and these are just a couple of different highlights, including their work to welcome and greet students who are underrepresented in medicine as they join our community, leading a 3rd annual Leadership in Color Conference to really galvanize our entire community around the mission and vision for justice and belonging, with over 250 teammates this past year. I was delighted to be a part of that program. And then supporting a number of student groups within the School of Medicine, several organizations, affinity groups to support conference attendance, community fairs, and cultural observations. I also want to highlight work of the Center for Advancing Racial Equity, and this came out of efforts that were initiated during the George Floyd murder to develop a change agenda. And as a result of the change agenda, which came from our community, Dr. Freischlag developed a Center for Advancing Racial Equity. And this group is focused on developing accountability, including analysis and alignment with the change agenda, and developing some annual reports and metrics, learning and dissemination about our tasks in racial equity, including communication, best practices to establish racial equity, developing an assessments processes, including progress reports, and fostering collaboration and coordination among our various units to ensure that we can promote learning and facilitate discussions about racial equity. And that program is led by Doctors Amy McMichael, Sabina Giselle, and Doug Easterling. I'm going to transition over finally to our Dean's Cabinet. So how we've transformed quite a bit as our school has been growing and our mission has been growing and all of this new activities going on. And so I want to make sure that you're aware of our school leadership. We have a number of vice deans. These vice deans work with me across both the Winston-Salem and the Charlotte campus to accomplish all of our strategic missions. And so they're vice deans in medical education, Dr. Roy Stroud, Dr. Terry Yates, Dr. Tom Hansen, Roy Stroud in undergraduate medical education, Terry Yates in health professions, and Tom Hansen pulling together our graduate medical education programs across the whole advocate footprint. Our translational centers of excellence, which I mentioned before, Dr. Ruben Mesa of our cancer programs, Dr. Tony Asher in neurosciences, and we'll have a new leader joining us in heart and vascular soon. Dr. Brenda Latham-Sadler, who's focused in our new Office of Justice and Belonging. We have leaders for regional growth and development, Dr. Scott Fernie, Academic Affairs in Charlotte, and Dr. Amit Acharya, who's in the Midwest region and helping us with those strategic initiatives. We have several research vice deans to help with our broadening and expanding research portfolio. Dr. Jamie Ard in clinical research, Dr. Christina Ferdui in basic and preclinical science, Gary Rosenthal in clinical and translational science, Lynn Wegenecht in population health. I mentioned Dr. Reed in Faculty Affairs. We also have Dr. Eric Kirkendall, Information and Data Science, Chris O'Byrne in Administration, and Dr. Amber Brooks, who just joined as a Vice Dean for Strategic Initiatives. So these are people that hopefully you'll get to know them, get their faces, reach out, and they are here to help support across all of these missions on both campuses. We also have a number of senior associate deans who also work on both campuses in faculty affairs. Many of you will come to know Greg Hawkins quite well because he's leading all of our appointments, promotion, and tenure processes. We have Dr. Julie Silver and Dr. Suzanne Danauer, who focus on faculty success and wellness, respectively. Dr. Metin Gurkin, focused on artificial intelligence. Dr. Nadine Barrett, who's helping us develop a school-wide and enterprise-wide community engagement strategy in research. Dr. David Calloway really focused on planetary health. I don't know if many of you know this, but our medical school building in Charlotte is the first net zero medical school, carbon footprint medical school in the nation. And Dr. Calloway leads many efforts across our enterprise to decrease our carbon footprint, enhance our environmental and planetary responsiveness. And so the number of important programs that will be evolving in the educational spaces as well as our resource utilization spaces moving forward. We also have Drs. Daryl Rosenbaum and Jenny Liu focused on undergraduate medical education, and Dr. Wendy Ferguson in student affairs. So I am actually at the end of the presentation, and I wanted to wrap it up by saying I think we should have tremendous pride as we meet this moment. This is a moment of growth and transformation for our school. We have so much innovation, and I think you've seen the examples of that. I couldn't touch on everything, but it's just really an incredible time where we are transforming and innovating. And then we have excellence at scale, excellence in spades and excellence at scale, and it will continue to grow as our school grows. And we are a place to thrive. All of these examples really are examples of how we are thriving as a school and how we're going to meet the mission to thrive. So I'm truly want to thank each and every one of you for your excitement and contributions to our school mission. We have one mission. We are a growing community, and we are having a global impact. So thank you as you've been involved to help us cultivate our Wake Med excellence. So now I'm going to stop sharing and see if there are any questions.